Hi Capricorn, welcome to August. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and I'm getting ready to do your reading. And before I do that, I want to call in some good energy and create some sacred space around this reading. And I want to say, let's see what's coming up this month. We have a full moon in Aquarius. We just finished a new moon in Leo on the 31st, and we're coming into the full moon in Aquarius on the 15th. And at the same time that we're having that full moon, Mercury moves out of its shadow. It's going direct now, starting with the beginning of the month. Uranus starts to go retrograde, but Jupiter is now going direct as of August 11th. So things are starting to pick up in this month. If things have felt stuck or slow, this month should start to pick up momentum. And then we have a new moon in Virgo that's in favorable aspect to your sign. It's a grand earth trine with Saturn. Even though it's a little bit of a wide orb, I think it still counts. I want to count it. I think Saturn is still sending his vibes to this trine. And so we have the sun, the new moon in Virgo, which is favorable to you, your sign. We have Uranus in Taurus, which is favorable. It's your sister sign. And we have Saturn in your sign, Capricorn, and in its home. Saturn is very strong right now because he's in his home sign. And he's part of this triangle of abundance that's coming our way. And more so for the earth signs. They will be the ones that most benefit from this grand earth trine. So let's see what the cards have to say. We'll get into the astrology later. What does Capricorn need to know about love and relationships for the month of August 2019? What does Capricorn need to know about love and relationships and anything else that might be important in August 2019? What is coming up for Capricorn this August? Now, in September, your ruling planet will go forward. So, this is just the start. The planets are starting to come back online. So, here we have the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Moon in the past, the Eight of Cups in the past, Six of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords, Three of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords. So, the Knight of Wands, you start the month out. The Knight of Wands is a card of journeying and travel and adventure. If it represents a person, it could be someone who is a lot of fun to be with, but they're not very reliable. So you can just enjoy them in the moment. But you can't put a lot of faith into what they say. They can be a player, a little bit of a player. So you could be connecting with someone like that. If it's not a person, then this can mean a change of residence or a change of job, that your job responsibilities are changing. And you're kind of getting ready, you're ready for a new adventure. You're ready to move on to something different. And the Ten of Cups is here, crossing you. So it's not a block. You have a lot of support. There are people who want to see you succeed. So any changes that are happening, either in relationship or in your career path, they're going to be, the outcome will be positive. You have the Moon in the past. So there might have been some confusion in the past, or you might have been involved with someone who had some kind of, I don't know, maybe you weren't seeing them clearly, or they could have had some kind of emotional problems or drinking problems or addiction problem. If not, this can just mean that there were things hidden. You weren't sure who to trust. You're not sure if the person you love is deceiving you or not. So there was a lot of confusion with the Moon. And the Eight of Cups is here. So it's possible that You may feel like walking away from something that's no longer fulfilling in August. And you may have already started that journey, because this is in the past that has influenced you. The moon can also represent, if you're not dealing with the deceptive energy of the moon, then the moon can represent intuition and imagination. So you may be tapping into your intuitive abilities and your imagination and using that to find your way forward. The thing is with the moon is sometimes you might be blowing things out of proportion. So you may have been looking at a situation and not seeing it clearly, or either looking at it in too rosy of a picture or too negative, one way or another, going to extremes. But so the Eight of Cups is a card of, I'm walking away from something that I once loved that's no longer doing it for me. It could be a job, could be a person. Maybe a relationship has kind of come to the end of the line where you're just not feeling it anymore. So if that's the case, if you're in a relationship and you're just not really feeling it, you may decide to walk away and start in search of something better, in search of a more fulfilling connection. If it's a job situation, it can play out as a job situation too. Maybe you're just not happy with the work you're doing, or you're not feeling as fulfilled as you were in the past. And you could have been doing something creative, and maybe now you're trying to move on to something else. Six of Wands in the upcoming future, you're going to be receiving success, and you are going to be moving away from any difficulties. The Six of Wands is the victory card. It's where you're paraded in the streets as the hero. So you're going to be having some type of career success in August and recognition. People are going to be talking about you and saying you did a great job. And that's like music to Capricorn's ears. Capricorns love to get recognition and love to get praise on the job. And it's coming, so don't worry. As a matter of fact, there might even be some offers on the table, because you have the Seven of Cups here. And you might be kind of stuck in the choices. What do I do? What do I choose? Do I stay with what I have? Do I move on to something new? Do I accept this offer? Do I accept that offer? You're going to have to check into all the details. You have the Page of Swords here with the Three of Swords. If this is a work situation, there could be some gossip that you need to look into. Maybe somebody's spreading gossip or rumors about you. Or you're hearing gossip and it may not be true. Especially if you're in a position of power. A lot of times people come to the boss with stories and they may not be true. They might be embellished. So think carefully, look carefully, communicate carefully. Because not everything is what it seems to be. And with the Three of Swords, there could be some cuts in your work environment. People might either leave or be let go. But that's not going to affect your success. But there will be some tightening of the belt. Because there's the Four of Pentacles, which is a card of financial security. You're holding on to something. Holding on to money. Holding on to security. So you're going to be concerned about financial security in August. And even in a relationship, maybe you're cutting a relationship out. It may not even be work. It could be for some, because this is a general reading. Something is going to be cut. Hopefully, what I think will happen is that you're going to cut away what's no longer serving you. Anything that's been holding you back, anything that's like dead and stagnant. If you're so it really depends on what's stagnant in your life. What is not moving? What is no longer fulfilling? If it's a job, you might be thinking about moving to a new position, a new job, a new company, maybe even a new career. If it's a person, maybe you're thinking about ending a relationship and moving on to something else, or freeing yourself so that you can find something that's more appropriate. So the Three can have, and it could also represent minor surgery for someone you love, might be going through a difficult time and may need some surgery. In your wish fulfillment, you have the Four of Pentacles. You are concerned, as an earth sign, as a Capricorn, you're concerned with security. the thing that you have to be careful of is not to turn into a control freak, because the card of the Four of Pentacles is someone who wants to control the outcome of things too much. And if you try to control things, it may backfire. You want to go with the flow and be a little bit more flexible, because you can't change the inevitable. And if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. So you can't control anything outside of yourself. The only thing you can control is your reaction to what happens in your life. And I'm not saying that anything bad is going to happen. I'm just saying that as we go through life, the only thing we spend a lot of energy trying to control others, or trying to control external situations that are out of our domain. If you can take that energy back and work on controlling you and your reaction and developing you and your, how you're being seen in the world, that's all you can control. Just compete with yourself. Don't compete with anyone else. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, because everyone is unique and everyone has their own gift to share. And you're going to have opportunities to share your gift and your love in August. So don't be too controlling. The Knight of Swords is here. This could represent someone that either comes in your life come swiftly, either comes in or departs. So someone may be leaving your life, a friend. Maybe you have a falling out with someone and they leave. Or you decide to end a relationship that's no longer serving you. It could be a friend, it could be a love. Or it could just be people in your work environment that are just leaving suddenly when you least expect it. And if that energy represents your attitude, I would caution you not to jump into something without giving it a lot of examination. Because the Knight energy is someone that's very hasty and is not thinking. They just want to jump into something. They just want to do something quick, and they're not paying attention to the details. So you have to pay attention to the details in August. If you're going to jump into something, make sure you know what you're jumping into. Make sure you've done your homework and your research before you throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. So that's the advice I'm giving you as far as the cards go. You have love and support. You have the potential for victory and recognition. You're a rock star, and you're seen as the rock star. So if you have more than one option coming your way in love or in career, do a lot of research before you make your decision, and choose wisely, because there might be some things that you don't have enough information to make a decision. So you need to get as much information as you can so that you can make the right choice. And also, this card can be afraid of making a choice until you're stuck in the decision making. You're stuck in the choices because you're afraid of picking the wrong thing. Well, sometimes you just have to make a decision. And if it's the wrong decision down the road, well, then you make another decision. And you keep making decisions so you get where you want to be. But if you choose not to act, that's a decision also. And, like they say, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. You miss all of the shots that you don't take. Who is it that said that? Babe Ruth, I think. Or was it that coach? What's his name? I forget. But anyway, don't get stuck in the choices. Don't be afraid to choose and act. And, sometimes you have to fail forward. I think a lot of people hold themselves back because they're afraid of failure. They're afraid, if I do this, what if it's a disaster? What if I fail? And it stops you from doing so many things. But what if you don't fail? What if you fly? What if you succeed beyond your wildest dreams? You have to take some chances in life, otherwise you'll never get anywhere. Not recklessly, and Capricorn doesn't take reckless chances. Capricorn takes calculated risks. So, take your calculated risks in August. Don't get stuck in the choices. Let's see what the astrology has to say. So for you have a full moon in your money houses, 2nd house and 8th house. The moon is in the 2nd, the sun is in the 8th. And there's a lot of planets in Leo in the 8th house this month for you. So this could bring money in through channels other than your income, than your employment. So it's kind of a lucky time for you. I mean, as far as insurance payouts or lottery winnings or inheritance. But the 8th house is also the house of intimacy. And you've got Venus and Mars there this month at this full moon. And Mercury. So maybe it's time to talk about all the things that are holding you back. If you're not in a relationship and you're not in a close partnership, what is it that's preventing you? What fears are coming up? Now's a good time to find out. Let that sun shine a light on your fears so that you can create a relationship that has greater intimacy. Maybe the cutting away is cutting away your own self-sabotage or your own fears of moving forward, either in a relationship where you become more intimate or in a career path where you take on more responsibility. So you have Uranus in the 5th house, so romance can pop up from anywhere. And if this romance, so be on the lookout, get out there, circulate. Uranus can also bring a new creative project your way that you really love, that's unusual and unique. Neptune's in the 3rd. Your communication is a little bit unclear, and even the people that you're communicating with, especially with Mercury retrograde. I mean, everything's been like cross signals, misunderstandings, missed emails, missed mail, mail that gets lost, all kinds of crazy. So it's really important that you communicate clearly, that you make sure that people are understanding you. That people, like if you sent that email, don't assume it went and got there, check on it. If you call someone and they don't answer, maybe, the phone call got rerouted or something. Check all your messages. Make sure you're receiving and giving in a clear way. The new moon falls in your 9th house, and it's in Virgo. So you could be starting something new that has to do with education. Maybe you're learning, starting a new educational program. If you are, you're going to be really fired up about it because Mars is there. You're going to be really revving to go. Venus is there, so it could bring in abundance. It's something that you're going to love working on. You have Uranus in the 5th house. That's the house of creative expression. You're ready to fly your freak flag. You're not afraid of, Capricorn worries about what other people think of them. But with Uranus in the 5th house, Uranus is telling you, throw out the chains that keep you in a robot-like mode. Show yourself. Drop your guard. Be the real you. Uranus wants you to be the real you. Uranus wants you to express who you are, even if the world thinks you're crazy. You're unique. You're the only, there's no one else like you. And people compare themselves with other people. That's like apples and oranges. Because we are all unique and we all have our gifts. And you just have to shine, I mean, the stars out there, look in the sky, especially around the new moon. They don't compare each other. They don't go, oh, you're shining brighter than me. They're all shining. And we can all shine. So don't be afraid to shine in August. And Saturn's in the 1st house. So Saturn, you're getting serious. And not only is Saturn in the house 1, Pluto's there. Pluto is changing your image. You're coming into your power. You're becoming empowered. Pluto can, in the negative, can be a power, misuse of power. So you want to be careful if you're in a position of power as a Capricorn, with Pluto in your 1st house and Saturn in your 1st house. This is a very serious place to be. You have a serious responsibility to fulfill, not only to yourself but to the people that are under your, in your charge. Don't abuse your power. Pluto in the 1st, in the best possible expression, is being empowered, feeling confident, and using your abilities and your position to help to empower others. It's like the rising tide that lifts all boats. You can be that rising tide. So if you take a selfish route, it's going to lead to destruction. So just a warning. Pluto doesn't mess around. Pluto's like the mob boss, You screw with Pluto, you wind up sleeping with the fishes, And Saturn is the lord of karma. Saturn's the jailer. Saturn will reward hard work, but if you screw up and do something dishonest, Saturn's going to throw your ass in jail. Saturn will give you the karmic payback. So we're living in very delicate times, and we have to make sure that our actions and our intentions are pure. And if you keep that in mind while you're going through life and trying to achieve your goal, you will find success just falls down from the sky. Because after the work, Saturn gives a lot of reward. Saturn's a taskmaster. It doesn't give anything for nothing. You have to work at it. It's like I remember that old commercial for Camay soap. And this actress is going, I wasn't born beautiful. I had to work at it. That's the Saturn theme song, pretty much. You have to work. You have to do the work. You can't get around it. But what a great feeling when you finally get the reward. And the reward is coming. Everything's in your first house. You're going to be seen as someone who's responsible, as someone who's powerful, who is empowered. Not powerful like a tyrant, like a little despot. Power in the sense of, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to be who I am and stand in my truth. So that's the energy of Saturn and Pluto in your first house. And it may even change your physical appearance, because the first house is physical. So you might start to get on an exercise program or work out or get, a makeover, whatever. You want to be seen differently in the world. And you have a while to do it, because Pluto's going to be there for about 12 years, 14 years. So, but it's the beginning now. Well, actually, Pluto's been here for a while. It's at 21 degrees. But it never had Saturn. Saturn's like saying, okay, it's time to get serious. Saturn's been there in a sign for two years. Saturn's saying, come on, let's get serious. I'm not playing games anymore. You need to take action. You need to step into your power. You need to stop being afraid. So if there's any kind of fear holding you back, cut it away. Cut it out. You have the big boys at your back. So then we have this new moon in Virgo. And that's happening in your 9th house. And it's part of a grand earth trine. You can't help but have abundance as long as you don't do something totally crazy. You've got all these planets working for you. And whatever you're learning, if you're learning something new, you're going to love it. And it could be something unusual, involving technology, or even astrology, for that matter, because Uranus, it's trine Uranus. With Uranus, you never know. It could be something off the beaten path. But whatever it is, you're going to love it, and you're going to put all your energy into it, and it's going to change you. Like I said with the other signs, you have Venus squaring Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 12th house. So, Venus square Jupiter is not really a bad aspect, because those planets are the abundant planets. It's just that it's a little bit, the main thing is not to go over the top. Not to overdo. So if you're spending money, or if you're working on like a new you, don't become like obsessive compulsive about it. Don't become fanatical about it. Don't spend like thousands of dollars, on a makeover. Don't think, oh, all my problems will be solved if I just do this one thing, if I just get this new dress, or this new plastic surgery, whatever it is. It's, you have to be realistic. And Jupiter, sometimes when Jupiter's in the positive mode, Jupiter's like, it's like mania, it's like, come on, let's go, yeah. And you're like jumping off a cliff, and then all of a sudden, so don't do that. Don't jump up. But Capricorn's not going to do that. That's the only warning with square Jupiter squaring Venus, is to think that you can't lose. That you're so lucky that you can do anything. Don't get, have hubris, thinking you're like some kind of god, because Jupiter can do that to people. And then Saturn will be like the taskmaster saying, no, nope. And you'll get a rap on the wrist, But for the most part, there's going to be some changes, and you are on a path towards success. You just have to choose where you want to go, and you can get there. And it could be rather quickly, especially if you cut away the fears, and especially if you do your research and you look into things, and really look deeply, go deep. Don't skim the surface, and that'll help you make your decision. Because you are changing big time, Capricorn, especially with Pluto and Saturn in your first house, and it's going to come together in a conjunction in January. Between now and January, it's like it's showtime, So rehearsals are over. It's time to step into the role of king or queen. So do your prep work and you'll be fine. So that's my reading for August. Things are starting to move. They'll move even more in September when Saturn comes online, and then October when Pluto starts going direct. So, it's like you're revving the engine right now, ready to let go of the brake. But drive carefully. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. And thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for anyone who's new. Welcome. And for those who've ordered readings, thank you. I've enjoyed working with all of you. And it's just like a dream come true for me since I started this channel, to be able to work with people from all over the world. It's wonderful. And if you'd like to get a private reading, just click on the link in the description box and we'll get you on the schedule and we'll be working together. In the meantime, have a wonderful August, and I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.